Ashley.
Hey man, what's going on?
I have created something truly extraordinary.
Oh shit, for real? What's that?
It's called a podcast.
Vern, that has already been invented.
Yeah, but our show, Cinema Recall, we're gonna talk about movies.
Oh, okay.
You know, like box office blockbusters,
Yeah,
foreign independent films,
gotcha.
musicals and animation,
Yeah, lots of people do that.
S-rated adult flicks.
Ew, Vern, no. What makes Cinema Recall different from the rest?
Well, we will be offering great content with a wide variety of guests on both our podcast platforms and YouTube as well.
Variety. Like, it covers many different genres of film?
Exactly. We want to be the show for fans of cult features like Howard the Duck, to be friends with fans of big blockbusters like Spider-Man No Way Home.
I still feel like so many other shows do that format.
Yeah, but I have two very attractive and good-looking hosts.
Vern, it won't matter if they're listening.
Maybe they'll enjoy the banter we have with each other and special guests. We can even make a show that includes all lovers of cinema.
From art house gems?
And raunchy comedies.
I like it. A show that celebrates all forms of entertainment.
Cinema Recall is available everywhere you find great podcasts.
The hell was that?
It's our voice promo guy.
Follow them on Facebook and Instagram under Cinema Recall Podcast and on Twitter at Cinema_Recall.
Vern, can we afford to have a voiceover guy?
We can't afford not to. He used to be a voice guy for movie trailers, but now he just follows me around and gives me movie trailer narration.
That's really sad.
What? Now we're giving him purpose in life. He now has a reason to go on.
Check out past episodes at cinemarecall.net. Promise it's fun!
I want to toast to Italy, of course, to the food, of course, and to love. Salute.
Dear Louise, Bjørn, and Agnes, how are you? We were just talking the other day how nice it was spending time with you this summer. We would love to invite you to come to visit us.
Welcome to the latest episode of the podcast that wouldn't die. I'm your host, Kevin. With me, as always, is Aaron.
Ciao.
This week on the podcast, we're discussing the horror classic, Speak No Evil. This is 2022 Speak No Evil, about the Dutch couple and the Danish couple.
Not about the hill folk and the mobile home park like what we thought when we first started watching it. And I was like, which one of these is a Dane and which one of these people is a Swede? Then we realized we're watching the wrong effing movie. Although it looked pretty good.
Accent.
They had no accent. God, Europeans, when they learn a language, god damn do they learn a language.
They learn it. They learn it good. Let me tell you. Go ahead.
Dos tacos, por favor.
That's called racism.
That's
Let's.
Aaron's level of Spanish. I can only speak racist Spanish, apparently.
So here you go. Speak No Evil. There was a 2020 short, a 2014 short, a 2016 short, a 2013 feature length.
Wait, about the same thing, or you're just naming things with the same name?
From the last, lifetime that were called Speak No Evil. Then, like I said, feature length 2013. The movie we're discussing today, 2022's Speak No Evil, and there's another Speak No Evil coming out in 2024.
And none of them are related.
Let me see. The 2024. Oh yeah, is a remake. The 2024
of this?
Is a remake of this one. Yes.
It's going to be like an American and a Canadian meeting each other in I don't know. Where could they be meeting? In Dublin, and it all goes haywire.
No, it sounds like it's supposed to be two American couples. Yeah, although James McAvoy is playing one of them, but the other two.
I love James McAvoy.
It's Mackenzie Davis, James McAvoy, and Scoot McNairy. Two Americans.
Come on,
and
people!
one British.
What are we people making these names up with their children?
It's a thing.
How did I have such tradition? My children will never be famous because their names are too traditional. I should have called one Sock Monkey and Kicking the Ass. Kicking the Ass got you.
Your traditional middle names?
Well, William has a made-up middle name,
yes,
but it's his second.
Okay.
It's William Morgan McTadd, which Mac means son of the Amazing Dawn.
See, there you go. Need I say more?
But it's his second middle name. But of course, it is eccentric that my children both have two middle names. So it's like a double line on the Social Security card. You start crossing it over.
Glass houses. That's awesome. There you go. What's up with you? Other than crazy Bakersfield debacle.
Dude, this fucking Succession. I kept calling it Secession.
Secession's a different show, by the way.
This has nothing to do with the January 6th uprising. This is the Murdoch family. And I watched 6 hours of it yesterday. I watched an hour of it this morning with my coffee. I did the dishes and felt it was time to relax. So I watched yet another episode. So I am on the 4th season, but it is highly crackatastic.
And that's a good thing. Crackatastic.
And a good thing. It's one of those things where it just rolls over. More. The acting is outstanding. How do you like it? How do you like it?
Good stuff. Good stuff.
I mean, everybody, and I love Crazy Kieran.
Kieran Culkin,
Scott Pilgrim.
He was in Home Alone, by the way. Did you know that?
Who gives a shit about that or his brother?
Clearly
all I can tell you is I'm obsessed with Kieran, and we need more Kieran all the time.
Fair enough.
Any of the people. I mean, everyone's fantastic in the show. So if you haven't watched it, if you're late to the game like me, I'm literally watching 4 seasons in a week. I'm just like, and I get about 10:30. There's only 4 seasons, so I'm watching the entire thing. Although when Game of Thrones, I came in at the 5th season and watched that all in 1 week. It's one of those things where you start drinking your coffee at 6 and then it's like midnight because everything was like, just one more episode. Just one more. They put a drug for your eyes.
Oh,
thank you, HBO Max. It's fentanyl. Why isn't no one talking about this?
Well,
this is the TikTok of TV. It's the fentanyl of TV.
When Becky and I first got married, we would go back and binge these older shows. Now, older, like a couple of years earlier. Back then, you had to buy the set from Amazon. So I'd buy like season 1 of Lost or season 1 of 24.
Right. You were like Amish because you wouldn't pay for any cable. You were like UHF rabbit ears, and then you would just buy box sets.
No, we had cable, but at the time...
What's this Seinfeld I've been hearing so much about? Let's buy the box set.
I want to reiterate, Erin thinks I'm just here to set her up for her monologues. You're
not. I thought you are Jerry. You're Jerry, and I'm all the rest.
It's free association. I throw out one word, Erin goes on for 20 minutes. Interesting. Erin,
I can't help it.
Give us your 30-second synopsis of Speak No Evil from 2022, please.
This is what happens when you go on like a posh Tuscan vacation. Don't get friendly with the freaks. Let this be a lesson. Every good murder abroad starts with making friends with fellow travelers.
Okay.
So when you get there, don't talk to the locals. Don't talk to other tourists. You'll be fine. Spend your money eating pasta and going to the Gucci store. You get 20% back with your VAT. Boom.
And I'll say Rick Springfield said it best. Don't talk to strangers.
Don't talk to strangers. Actually, the better name for this would have been not Speak No Evil. It's like, don't speak. I know what you're saying. It's more like that.
Let me ask you this. Because it was called Speak No Evil, because you go into it, you have no idea why it's called Speak No Evil.
Right.
But because of that, you're kind of looking for reasons. And
I'm waiting. Yes. Where are the demons? Evil.
It kind of spills in my mind, because you and I were watching this together for once, and we'd pause. I'd stop to make dinner or whatever.
Make a pee whistle.
Chat. Exactly. We chit chat about what's going on in the movie while we're watching it. And I almost think we kind of figured it out before the grand surprising twist at the end. just because we're like, why is it called Speak No Evil? Like that's not just a random thing. That was chosen very specifically. So they don't want somebody to say something. So
Well, they don't want anyone to say anything, but the don't speak really doesn't have to do with evil, but I guess it's how you perceive evil. I'm really done with just regular people are evil. No, evil is evil. Evil is biblical. Not just because you're all fucked up and you're crazy, that doesn't make you evil.
But didn't the title, I guess I'm not making myself clear. The title basically told us, because their son, the couple they meet,
someone's going to say something fucked up. Right. And the son doesn't speak. Well, they didn't say he doesn't speak. Right. They just said he's shy around new people.
That's what they say at the beginning. The son is shy around new people. But then later, once they're visiting them in Holland or wherever, then it's like, oh, actually, he has congenital osmosia or glosnia. I don't know what the heck.
I kept trying to Google that 12 different ways, and I couldn't. First of all, I have no idea how to spell it. And whatever I put in was popping up like Latin or Italian or something.
Yes.
And did you figure it out?
Yes. Well, they said he was, at that point, they say it's a condition which means you're born without a tongue or with a very small tongue.
Well, clearly, okay, go ahead.
I was just going to say, at that point, I kind of knew this was they grabbed this kid at some point. We said that. We talked about that clearly. And we're just throwing out theories. I'm not Sherlock Holmes. I bet you this kid is not their kid, and they cut out his tongue so he couldn't tell anybody. That was my theory at the time.
I am Inspector Gadget, and quite frankly, at one point the kid comes up, opens his yap, and I just thought there was a bug crawling out, but apparently that was
That's true.
I didn't even notice that his tongue was cut off and all scabbed up. I mean, I
rewound it.
We had to rewind it because I thought it was one of those African dung beetles crawling out. But you would think it wouldn't be black unless it just happened.
It was just shadowy. I don't think it was black.
I don't know. It looks scabby. It looks like mouth scabby. You figure it would have healed it.
No, I don't think it was. But what was happening, what we later, if you put two and two together, is the kid was trying to show them, they cut out my tongue. Because the kid sneaks up behind him and just opens up his mouth to show no tongue, jackass. Now my question is, can he not write? Right in the sand.
Can he not write? How about this? I'm not making fun of people, but I'm just going to try to talk without using my tongue. So, hello, help me. People have killed my parents, and I need to get out of here.
Yes, that's
now.
He said something.
I rolled my tongue and shoved it in the back of my throat. Okay?
Something.
Yeah, or write a fucking note. Help me.
Call
but honestly,
cops.
We haven't even talked about it. One couple meets another couple on vacation. Boom.
Well, no,
and hijinks ensue.
Normally, I would say, tell me about your first time seeing this. Let me tell you. But we had never seen this before. We were on another podcast. I think it might have been the Horror Returns podcast.
Possible.
Where we were talking about movies we'd seen recently, and I believe somebody mentioned Speak No Evil. And that's kind of how we knew we were watching the wrong one, because I remember them specifically saying it's about, they didn't want to spoil anything, but they said it's about a Dutch couple and a Danish couple. And of course, we're American. We're like, they're from the same country, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. Right?
Northern Europe is what we call it. Aren't they all Scandinavian? Isn't that the same thing?
Could be. And
everyone north of Germany, north of France. I don't know.
That's called Northern Germany, as far as I know. No,
we call it. Okay. Shut your
For
mouth,
our international listeners, we know the difference. We're just being.
Just being Americans.
We're being Americans. So they recommended it. They said, "Oh, it's dynamite." So we started to watch one movie called Speak No Evil from 2014, and we watched 5 minutes, and there's some demon crawling out of the ground. We're like, whoa, this sounds good. And then we noticed no accents. Now I'm like, wait a minute.
I'm like, do they have trailer parks in Europe too? I'm like, wait a minute. Is this the Tuscan vacation where you were in the mobile home?
By the way, I don't think they were in a trailer park. Now Erin sees trailer parks wherever she looks. As far as the eye can
In
see.
the wrong movie. It was a freaking trailer.
I think it was just
Was it a house?
Yes, I think it was just a
Oh
house.
my God.
Who knows?
I think you're wrong.
Who knows? Who's to say? So they recommended it. So we kind of alternate typically, like, oh, what movie do you want to do next, kind of thing. And Erin wanted to do Speak No Evil. We're like, cool, let's do it. But none of us really knew anything
I
about
want to see something new. You know, most of the stuff that we watch, one of us has already seen it.
Yes, this was a new experience for both of us. Now, okay, hit me. How does this new movie start? What do you notice?
Oh my God, like the most awesome Tuscan vacation. They're at like one of those agro experience places with the big agricultural.
With meth heads? What makes it aggro is my question.
Not that kind of aggro. Anyway, it's one of those farmhouse places where they're growing their own food. And then the last night they have like the long table and communal food and wine and cheese from the farm. It's just whatever you imagine Tuscany would be like. And they meet another couple and the men like hit it off. It's a bromance. The main dude's wife is like, these people are a little up. And as usual, in all these movies, honey, you crazy. Honey, just relax. I should get $10 every time some dude in a movie says relax to his wife and then ends up getting hit in the head with an axe.
The husband, the Danish husband, clearly something's going, he's troubled. Like, because there's scenes of him laying in bed with a cold sweat, staring at the ceiling. Something's going on. He's unfulfilled, even on his
I'll tell you
vacation.
what it is.
Please.
It's 21st century pussy man pressure. Oh, I got a job I don't like. I got the pressure of taking care of my wife, and we have a child. I got pressure. Whereas this was just something people just did, man.
That is true.
So what am I going to do? The walls are closing in. I have claustrophobia. Shut the fuck up.
He's dissatisfied with domesticity, if you will.
I guess so.
He goes to the window, middle of the night, and there is Dutch homie kind of staring up at his window, looking at him in the dark at like
Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Julio.
That seems inappropriate. Let me just say that. Erin's personal homophobic views do not reflect the views.
No, not that kind of
Julio. What do you think?
No, I mean, it's a bromance. Oh my God,
you said homeo.
You're a sex crime.
A crime itself.
Like homie, not homo.
I don't know. Whatever you God. Say. You live in Bakersfield.
The people know I'm a safe space.
Okay.
People know I'm a safe space.
So immediately we know something's up now. Like the Dutch dude is some kind of stalker or something, but the Danish dude who's like, clearly going through midlife crisis or whatever the situation is, he has these moments where it's clear the guy's like looking at him and he kind of likes it or he's not put off by it. There's some kind of something going on. I don't even know how to describe it.
It's like, I see you, dude. I see you. Like his daughter left her stupid rabbit. So he went back and finally like, dude, you're a hero.
Right.
He's not a fucking hero. He went back to get his daughter's thing. And when she loses it again, that's on her. Fuck it. If it's so important to you, little Susan, you should have kept a better eye on it.
So weeks later, whatever, they're back in Copenhagen or wherever, and they get a postcard from this couple in Holland.
Wait a minute, they're in Copenhagen?
They're in some part of Denmark. I just threw Copenhagen.
They're not Danish.
Yeah,
they're
yes,
Dutch.
They are.
I thought they were from Holland.
The creepy couple is from Holland.
Okay.
Did you see this movie? That's what I see. Now we're exposing that we are.
Do you think it's funny
Americans.
that everyone apparently hates Sweden?
Right, they bond over their mutual hatred for Sweden because they said the Danish and the Dutch were very similar. Not like those damn Swedes. Am I right? No, high five. Up
High five.
you go.
Well, I watched Eurovision and Sweden won again, and there was nothing but Swede bashing. Finland was cutting ties because they came in
Because of that?
second.
Cutting ties. What does that mean?
There was
They're
they were like, "Fuck you! We're burning everything down.
well,
We're gonna
Eurovision's
refuse.
serious.
We're gonna refuse to learn Swedish. Screw you all. You
we're
robbed
declaring
us.
war on
We're
Sweden.
declaring war. Go Finland."
So the Danish couple's back in Copenhagen. They receive the postcard from the Dutch couple saying, "Hey, come on out. We can have you over for the weekend. It'll be great." And the Danish wife, is like, "That's kind of weird. We barely know
Yeah.
them. We're not all the way to."
She's like, X-nay
on that. But of course, the Danish husband's like, now he's like, we should go visit them.
He's my bestie. He's gonna teach me how to be a man. Yay!
But like you see that because they're like in Denmark having dinner with another couple, and he's like, spontaneous brings it up. Yes, we were invited to see another couple in Holland, and I think we should do it. And the wife's like, I don't know. It seems. Well, I mean, is that a flight? No, it's an 8-hour drive. Oh, that's
For the
not too
weekend.
far. For the
Yeah, that's cool.
an 8-hour drive in another country. And you got to take people
A
geographically.
ferry is part of that.
It's
ferry.
like a 4-hour ferry crossing. I don't know what that is. The North Sea. Who the hell knows geographically? They have to cross a sea to get to Holland, to the Netherlands, wherever it is. And the husband's like, "Let's do it. I'll start packing." Tell your
Ever
friends
trust
goodbye.
a blonde with a mustache? When you start
And a
getting that
beard.
fairy mustache and beard, no.
It's a thing.
Don't listen to him. Unless
No,
it's
no,
a real Viking.
Unless only then. If it's Eric the Red, then you're in.
If it's Eric the Red or Eric Northman from True Blood,
Eric
one
the
or the other.
Blonde.
Eric the Ginger.
Right. So anybody watch this movie at this point? I mean, grant it's a horror movie, or it's some kind of psychological thriller. It's probably
You're
not a
waiting
good
for
thing.
it.
You're waiting for it. Adding to that, the soundtrack is hitting you over the head. No
Fuck,
matter what
the soundtrack is amazing.
and they're in Tuscany, like having a glass of wine, and then it's like, brrr, like it's The Shining, like the horns coming in
For the entire movie.
Yes,
It's like horns. It's like those horns made out of like a ram's horn.
it is. Ricola. Yes.
Ricola as they're just driving through the countryside.
It's bad. So it's bad going in. There's no mystery.
I wonder if I can buy the soundtrack.
I'm sure you from the Eurovision.
I'm gonna play it at Thanksgiving.
Please do. Please do. So they go down there and everything seems cool, but of course the wife starts noticing things are a little off. She's a vegetarian, and they keep either the husband's arguing with her about it. So you're not really a vegetarian. You're a pescatarian. And why is eating fish better than eating beef? What do you think? Here, have some beef. Chew on this beef. And while the husband's like, "Oh, honey, it's okay. You can have a little beef. Honey, I've been a vegetarian for 15 years. That's okay. Try it. You don't want to be rude. Have some." So the husband, the Danish husband sucks, is what we learn early
Both husbands sucks for different reasons. And by
That
the
is
way,
true.
you can listen to the soundtrack on Spotify, YouTube, or Apple Music.
Just make
Pop
sure
that
it's
on when the kids are falling asleep.
exactly. Speak No Evil 2022. So there's
Mhm.
no confusion.
Mhm.
So the wife notices little things and kind of complains, and her husband is like, "Oh, hun, it's fine. What do you mean? Cultural differences, blah, blah, blah."
Poo-pooing all her feelings, her thoughts.
Now,
He's
watching
bonding with his manly man. A man is clearly this dude had no father and doesn't have solid male friendship. So little alpha man comes in and says, "You're like a hero. You're an amazing father. You're this, you're that," and
Right.
he is just gonna fillet him right there.
Okay, hopefully not.
It was
It's not
a
that kind of
true bromance.
It's a thing. It's a thing. So
Do you have an alpha man crush somewhere in your world?
I'm pretty much the alpha everywhere I go.
Oh,
so it's
Lord.
hard to figure that out. Everywhere they just fall in line. What can I say? It's my pheromones. Some might say my musk.
Do you have like secret meetings with handshakes? So you're like the Tony Robbins of like Irvine.
Oh no.
People come to you for masculine advice.
We've talked about this before. I have no friends. Basically, once you reach a certain age, people are like, as a school teacher, every now and again, like, hey, we're going to happy hour. I'm like, I'm 47. I've got a wife and 3 kids. I live 40 minutes away.
Well, that's the killer. 40 minutes away.
I'll see you at work tomorrow. Bye bye. It's a sad, sad situation.
I don't know if you know this, but there's like schools where you live.
There are, but they aren't paying me at the moment. So you go where they pay you. That being said, so I'm trying to think. The first real big, stop sign, warning flag, whatever, is when they go out to dinner, right? And
honestly, this who looks like a cross between Tim Curry and Javier Bardem is just throwing up red flags. There's nothing, like the first 3 seconds they're like, and then you're like, or maybe it's because I'm a woman and I sense the disturbance.
You know what it is? We, the audience, see the weirdness before the wife sees it. Like the husband should be seeing it.
He doesn't see it. He doesn't see it frickin' at all.
Right.
Until it's too late.
He should see it because of the weird, like, we're making eye contact as I peer out the window at 2:00 in the morning. That's a red flag to anybody else.
Hey, guy. Hey, new friend.
Right. There's something going on. But when they go out to dinner, that's when the guy's arguing with her about being a vegetarian, which is just kind of a dick move. Anyway.
It's a total dick move. Why are you? You know that the fisheries are destroying our environment and blah, 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 blah. And then I'm going to go grind on my wife for now 20 minutes.
Well, so he orders a huge trough of various meats is what it looks like. Then they go in the corner and it's like Swayze and Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing, where it's just grinding on each other and making out while the other Danish couple's like, we'll hold hands, I guess. Hey, hon, I'm holding your hand. Wife horrified. Husband's like strange. He's like, I don't mind it so much.
On it. He's like trying to do that. Like, come on, baby. Let's grind too. We're a couple.
When it's time to pay the bill, this is the great moment. The guy, because here's the thing. One couple we said is Dutch. They speak Dutch. One couple is from Denmark, so they speak Danish. But the common language is English. So most of the movie is in English. They're talking to each other in English with accent in English. Great English, by the way. But you got the sense that the Dutch guy was feigning like his English wasn't that great. So he's like, he just hands him the bill, hands the bill to the Danish guy, and the Danish guy's like, are we splitting this? He's like, yeah, oh yeah, sure. He's like, wait a minute, so am I paying for this? Yeah, thanks.
He's like, thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
After I ordered it. And wouldn't tell him what he was ordering. It's schlop global, when they stop lot. It's pressed together and literally just jib jab. They're like, what the fuck are you ordering? Yeah, there's so much food. Wouldn't tell him, and there's so much food after like they those cold fish towers where it has the lobster and the crab, except it's hunks of meat hanging everywhere. Also, there's no one else in the restaurant but the bartender and them.
Yes. And they would say, and what is this? Like, oh, it's a traditional Dutch dish. Can you give me a little more than that? I mean, what are you telling me? I have dietary requirements.
It's like press the vegetables. What?
It's kind of a mash of various items from God knows where.
I take whatever's in the back of the fridge.
Just
I
shovel it on
put
out.
it in a Cuisinart,
Yep.
and I call it a croquette, which is a Dutch
Absolutely.
thing, and it looks like egg foo young deep fried balls.
Absolutely. And then before they even go out to dinner, the Danish couple thinks they're bringing their daughter with them. And they're like, oh, no. Kids are staying at home. We've brought in a babysitter. Some dude does not look like a babysitter.
No.
Looks like a creepy fellow, to say the least. He's going to be babysitting. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, we use him all the time. It's like, really? This 55-year-old dude is doing the babysitting? Okay.
Who doesn't speak any of their language, doesn't
Right.
speak the common tongue, doesn't speak Dutch, doesn't speak the Danish language.
I think he speaks Dutch, but he definitely doesn't speak Danish.
No,
or
he was
English.
speaking like some Middle East language.
Well, his name was Mujahid, something like that. I'm not trying to be racist. It was something like that. So he's not Dutch either. But yeah, there's like all these little flags. We've talked about these movies before where people are they get the warning, like their gut kind of goes, that doesn't seem right. But politeness kind of stops them from being like, we're not doing that. People are so desperate to be polite, they will just put themselves and even their children in danger, is what we discover in these movies.
I mean, the wife, the Danish wife was pretty on it, but even she was getting a little too passive. I'd be like, get the fuck. Let's get going. You want to stay? You can stay.
Right.
I'm out.
Oh, and then that's the issue. It's like she saw it, and occasionally she was like, hang on. But she never was like stomping her foot going, we're getting the hell out of here. She never smacked her husband upside the head saying, get your ass in the car. That never happened.
In the car right now. I'm going to leave your ass and push you off the ferry.
She complained to him a couple times, but it was never we're going.
No, the Dutch husband was such a puss that even when he was trying, the Danish husband was such a puss that even when they've escaped and had to come back and get the rabbit, which at that point you deserve whatever you get, is still looking to the wife to explain why they left.
Right.
Gives a fuck. It didn't work out. I'm out. Off. I'm out. Don't sit there and have a 20-minute discussion of why you snuck out in the middle of the night because they're freaks.
So the final straw. Okay. Meanwhile, the Dutch couple's child with no tongue is constantly moaning in the background.
Every night.
Oh no! Don't worry about that. Yeah, he'll stop eventually.
It's part of his disease.
It's just
I've been kidnapping and they cut out my tongue disease.
That is a disease. So the Danish couple comes back from the roadhouse, the dinner, and immediately, so she takes a shower and the Dutch dude, Patrick, I remember his name, Patrick rolls in there and is clearly brushing his teeth, taking a whiz while she's in the shower. And she's like, what is happening?
No boundaries. Just everything he does is creepy.
Strange. She goes in to the bedroom, and for some reason, now she's like, I'm feeling kind of amorous myself. So they start getting it down, the Danish couple, and you hear their daughter going, Mommy, Daddy, let me in, kind of thing. And they're just like, no, we started. We gonna finish.
We gonna finish, and Mommy needs her quiet time. Be out soon.
I mean, I gotta be honest. You have one child in a house full of freaks. I think you gotta stop. It sucks, but I think you gotta call a timeout and say, I guess we're gonna have to come back to this.
It seems like this was a rare occasion, so they didn't want to clear the deal.
That's exactly
it was
right.
Now or another 6 months.
That's basically what it was. So after they finish, Danish mom.
What did they finish 4 hours later? Or did they finish 10 minutes later? Come on.
10 minutes. They finished about 3 minutes later. She rolls over unsatisfied.
The clock spins by.
Exactly. That's what really happens. So she goes out to get her daughter. Daughter's not in her bed, her little rolling mattress in the hallway or whatever. And she goes down the hall, and their daughter is in bed with the creepy Dutch couple. And you see that the Dutch dude, Patrick's ass is fully out. So the Dutch parents are naked in bed with their daughter. Now, it doesn't seem anything molesty occurred.
It's not
don't
molested. She's
care.
tucked in on the side with the mom, but you
Yes.
do see this big fucking hairy ass hanging
Yes.
out. It's gonna make you uncomfortable.
Absolutely. And that's the last straw. Mom grabs the daughter, pulls her husband by the hair, and says, we're getting the hell out of here right now. They pack up, they bounce, they drive for seemingly hours, now daylight outside, and the little girl goes, oh, I lost my bunny.
She's 8 years old. Time to cut
Lost
the
my
cord.
bunny. And the mom, to her credit's like, too bad.
Too
We out.
bad.
Too bad. We're not going back for that, which is the right reaction. Smash cut, husband turning the car around.
I'd be assaulting him.
No, I mean,
No.
honestly, this is, first of all, the uncomfortable conversation you have to have with your daughter about her missing bunny is far preferable to the uncomfortable conversation you have to have with the freaks as to like, well, let me explain why we snuck out in the middle of the night. That your antics were so upsetting, we were going to sneak out and not say goodbye. Okay?
I lost sympathy for them. These are the most passive fucking people I've ever met in my life. And the end just proves how fucking passive they are.
Well, yes. I mean, it does. It absolutely does. So I don't want
once they turned around with the rabbit, they could bring out Freddy Krueger, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's a free-for-all.
It's a free-for-all.
Once you prove you don't have like critical thinking, then you just got to go.
So the husband goes in ostensibly to get the bunny, and then 2 seconds later, the daughter's like, "Oh, here's the bunny. It was under the seat the whole time."
That child, I might have had to restrain myself. There might have been an assault there too.
And if I was the wife, I literally just would text.
He's really gone.
I would have just texted the husband, "Bunny's here. Mambo out. We're out of here. I'm going to keep the engine running. I ain't going back.
I'm turning the car around. You got 3 minutes and I'm out.
Bunny or no bunny, we out in 3.
Yes.
But of course, she goes in. The husband's saying, well, the reason why we snuck out is because the bed was kind of small. You know, we're used to big Danish beds. And, you know, we didn't really like that the daughter was sleeping on a little roll in the kids' room. Kind of try to be, it was really the accommodations. That's why we
breaking
snuck out.
up. It really,
Yes.
in the end, it doesn't matter. You're breaking
You're never
up.
going to see these
They
people
don't need to
again.
hear your breath stink in the morning. You don't put away your clothes. You fart in your sleep. No, it doesn't matter. It
You
ain't
can say-
working out.
You can say whatever you want as you're walking to the door. If you want to be polite and be like, you know what, I got a call, I got to get back to the office, deuces. That's all you got to say. You don't have to say,
I would have taken
"F
my
you."
fingernails and put it right underneath that soft, fleshy part of my husband's arm by his armpit and dragged him down the stairs. They would have been eagle talons atop to the softness as I yank him down the stairs.
question.
You want to stay and visit? That's fine. See you home. Get the Uber.
The wife is like, I'm spilling all the beans.
She's like,
you
you're
knew
a
I was a
creeper.
vegetarian and you kept forcing food down, meat in my mouth, basically. And that's bad. The worst is you were naked in bed with my child. I mean, that's a big red flag.
100%.
Even in Amsterdam, that don't fly. Okay?
Not to mention the part they didn't even notice that old creepo husband's peeking through the glass watching them having sex.
A lot of peeking. But of course, the Danish husband noticed Patrick peeking and looking at him. Hi. He didn't
This
have
is for you.
Hi.
This is for you, Damien.
It was all for you.
All for you.
And the wife gets kind of pissed off, the Dutch wife. She's like, we had no idea. If only you told us that you were a vegetarian, we would have
I
behaved
mean,
differently.
besides the 100 times. So this is what I mean. You're talking about it. And then after they talk, it's like, oh, I'm so sorry. We're not wealthy.
Right. We can't give you the luxurious accommodation.
And they decide to stay another night.
We had all sorts of things planned for today. So they stay. It kind of
This is the
smash cuts
longest
to her like
weekend.
doing Danish wife doing like yard work. She's like raking leaves. Is this the fun thing that we were
Yeah.
going to do? Yeah, thanks. Good time.
We're going to clean like the gutters, and then the septic tank is overflowing.
It's overflowing.
Traditional Dutch chores.
Absolutely. No question.
And we did it all with wooden shoes. Well, no, then the wife, and then they're cooking dinner, and the wife cuts her finger, and her husband's,
right.
well, I'm glad there's a doctor in the house. A doctor? What do you mean? You told me you were a doctor. Oh, sometimes I lie.
I don't work, and I've never worked. I don't like jobs.
We don't believe in it.
It was just like, what? You gotta go. I mean, honestly, it's like I've been to people's houses where I didn't know them that well, and they start saying things. And I'm not even talking about being weird psychopath serial killers, but just being a little weird. And I'm like,
you get the feeling.
Not a good match. Not a good match.
Yeah.
I'm going to say my kind goodbyes and hit the road. We talked about the moment the Danish wife, spilled the beans about how uncomfortable you're making us. You cannot stay another night.
No, that's it. That is it. You don't come back from that.
That's it. That's ball game. But of course, they're like, whatever. No, you got to leave. You got to bounce at that point.
No. Like I said, you're on a date. It's a first date. You get up and say, dude, this isn't working out. You give me the creeps.
You don't have to say all that.
You may be a rapist, but he's like, but I got tickets to go see ABBA, the reincarnation. Right. So you go like, oh, okay.
Yes.
No.
Exactly. You don't do that. You don't say, you're giving me the ick, but let's go to Color Me Mine and we can paint pottery for the next 2 hours. You don't do that. You don't do that. It would be bad.
Introduce you to my mother after that.
Exactly. Let me give you my social security number. The two dudes go for a drive where there's a bizarre cathartic moment where the Danish husband spills his guts to Patrick, the Dutch guy. Oh, life is too suffocating. And he's like crying. I'm tired of smiling so much. I want to stop smiling. And they do like bizarre primal scream therapy at the quarry. Which is very cathartic. Oh, I've never felt better. Oh, I'm so glad we came here. Let's hug. Good time.
Let's have sex with each other now.
You wondered if that's where it was going at one point, right? I mean, you had to think because of the weird, like, I'm having sex with my wife. I'm spending time with my family. And here's creepy Joe peeking at me through the window. And I'm making eye contact. And I'm like, how about a weekend with him?
I don't think I don't think it's gay. I just think it's one of these.
But I thought it was.
Men, it's like, it's Fight Club. It's men who don't know how to be men.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely a role of that in this.
If only there was a Meatloaf cameo.
Absolutely. So, and I would do anything for love.
As long as he doesn't have those giant boobs from Fight Club.
But it's like throughout this, and I think the husband, Patrick, was doing it more. He would kind of throw out these obviously uncomfortable things to the group. He'd do obviously uncomfortable things. And in retrospect, it was like, I think on some level, he was like, I'm pushing it. I'm going to push it and see if this couple just lets me do it.
Right.
You know?
How weird can I go and what will they take? And according to this, that husband will take anything.
He'll take it and ask for seconds. At the end, towards the end, the kids are doing a little dance routine. This was a very uncomfortable scene.
This is very upsetting.
For fun, as you know, if you're having a dinner party, the kids will come running up and be like, let me do my little whatever.
Trust me, my whole family did that over and over and over and over.
My kids used to do it too. But of course, because they're kids, it's not nearly synchronized enough. So Patrick is constantly like, no, wrong. Do it again. Do it again. Throwing the mug that they gave him, smashing it on the ground. Like it's most like they're trying out for Star Search or something. That's a dated reference.
Abusive. Just abusive. The kid's crying. He's grabbing him, shaking him, screaming at him.
And so the daughter is like, Mommy, I don't want to do this anymore, and kind of climbs into the mom's like, oh, she's appalled. But of course, her husband, the Danish husband's like, well, maybe we'll do it one more time. One more time, honey. That'll be fun. One more time. But eventually he even says, how could you, blah, blah. He yells at the guy ever so briefly. But that is not even the last straw.
No!
That's not
Then
even the
the
last
wife
part.
is all, how dare you judge us on our parenting? The wife only exists she has a sour puss, no sense of humor. She exists only to back up the crazy husband.
Well,
Nothing he can do looks shocking to her.
right. So eventually they're making dinner, and the Dutch mom starts ordering around the Danish daughter. Hey, Agnes, would you set the table? No, 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 no. That's not how we set the table. Like parenting her. And eventually
Mhm.
the Danish mom's yelling at her like, "Stop parenting my child. What are you doing? Stop." Um, but then, of course, there's the grand reveal. Do you want to hit us with the grand reveal at the
The
end?
grand reveal is the husband is out looking for his freaky friend, who's clearly just a psychopath. Sees lights on in an outbuilding on the property, goes in there. There's 1,000 cameras, 1,000 suitcases. He goes upstairs, and on the ceiling are 1,000 vacation photos with the couple, with another couple, and that couple's children becomes their child in the next set of
Right.
pictures.
Right. The
But like
child that they have
hundreds
has
of
a
them.
sad face, and then it's a rotation, right? Next picture, suddenly the friend couple child is now their child, and now that child has the sad face.
But their
And it just-
child is always sad.
yes, their child always has the sad face. And it's clear watching it, this was like breadcrumbs. Like
Yeah.
Patrick, the evil Dutch dude, wanted the guy, Bjorn, was that his name?
Yeah.
Wanted
Bjorn.
to follow the trail to find this. He wanted
Just
him
for
to find
extra
this.
terror. Just for a terror.
Well, and that's the literally what they could have done was invite this couple, kill them moment they arrive, and steal their child.
100%. But they like the games.
They like the games, and I don't know what the gun control laws are in the Netherlands, but they do this stuff. You never see a gun. You never see
Never
a
a
knife.
gun.
You know,
Never
you don't see-
no, you see no weapons. The end is the most confusing thing of all. I was like, what the fuck?
right. So, and he wanders into the indoor pool, and there is the former child of Patrick and his wife floating face down. The kid with no tongue is now drowned in the pool. So, and what I'm realizing watching this is that clearly they only keep this child until the next vacation. Like,
Yeah, it's all about the game.
it's all it's about. They only keep him for one vacation, and then they rotate.
I don't
Take
know
it
how
with
they bankroll their lives since they don't work, how they keep flying to Tuscany to stay at this beautiful place. Why don't the people at the hotel notice that they have a different child every time they come? Because at the end, they're going back to Tuscany.
Same place to get the next group. Yeah. So the husband now, oh damn. Now I realize.
I guess my wife is right. She got a better radar. I'm a dum-dum.
Right. So he grabs his wife, grabs the child. They drive away. She's happy to leave because she didn't like them anyway. But this was the shocking thing. He never tells his wife what he's discovered. Doesn't tell them. So
They get out to the car. The car is on empty.
it's close.
So
yes. There's a little bit of
It
gas,
had
but
to
not
be
much.
Crazy Patrick had to have drained the gas.
Seems like
This
it.
is all a game. This is all
all
sport.
a game. They're driving, and of course, it seems like he's getting lost because he established, well, with the GPS, I can't even read a map. It's hard to find places.
It seemed like there was one road.
But the thing is that he was so wimpy that if he ever saw like lights coming up, headlights coming, he's like pulling over to side roads and like, oh my god, I gotta hide. And of course, he like runs into a ditch. And now the car is stuck, and he's like, honey, you wait here
This
with the
is
child.
why he's laying in bed crying because he's a puss.
He's horrible.
He is the worst husband in the world.
He tells them to wait. Don't leave the car. I'm going to go look for help. He wanders around, doesn't find help, comes back, car's empty. Because of course it is.
Of course it is.
Because of course it is. And then the headlights come up, and there's Patrick. There's Patrick's wife. There's the daughter. There's Bjorn's wife. Because, of course, Bjorn's wife called for Patrick for help. Hey, yeah, we're stuck in the mud.
Of course. Never
Yes.
trust a man named Bjorn. Look what
It's a
happened with
rule.
ABBA.
It's a
Yeah,
rule.
100%.
And he's like in tears, please don't hurt my family. Then you better do everything I say. And he says,
Yeah,
okay.
just
I'll
shut
do
the up and get in the car.
Gets in the car. Patrick pulls over. I'm going beat by beat. He pulls over. Patrick gets out to take a whiz, leaves the keys in the car. And you see Bjorn staring at the car keys going,
Too wimpy to do it. It's just another challenge for him
Yes.
that he has to fail.
yes, that's exactly right.
What do
It's
you
like,
have to lose? He knows what's going to happen. He knows what's going to happen if he doesn't react, and he still doesn't react.
Still doesn't do it. Well, we talked about it. It seems like it's so obvious it must be a trap.
Who
It
gives a
must be a
shit?
trap.
If the end is you're
Death.
going to die,
Right. What do you got to lose?
what do you got to lose, man? They tell you, jump out of the fucking, when the man in the van gets you, jump out of the van. If he got a gun with a knife, jump out of the van. If he shoots you, you out of the van. If he takes you back to the torture thing, you could be there forever while he skins you like a chicken. Who knows?
Absolutely.
Do
Exactly.
it.
What do you got to lose? Don't get into the van with the scary person who's trying to take you somewhere else to do something worse.
Yeah, nah.
What I want to do to you, I can't do to you right here. So you need to get in the van so I can really lay it
So
down.
we can really, I got all my good tools at home.
So, and then they're driving, obviously not back to the place. Obviously. And the wife's like, what the hell? This isn't the way. What are we doing? What's going on? Husband still doesn't say anything. They pull over, and then the van shows up, and that's where the quote-unquote babysitter arrives. Puts Danish mom in a headlock. Okay? Patrick and his wife grab the daughter, pull out scissors, and Bjorn's sitting there. He does a little token resistance. Patrick throws him a couple shots, and he's like, okay, now I'm done.
I'm compliant.
Do what you're going to do. Do what you're going to do.
They cut out her tongue with like the tools the wife was using in the garden, like tiny
Yes.
scissors. It was nasty. It was meaty.
Clip, and they show you. They show
No.
you bloody
Up
tongue
close
tips
and personal.
The babysitter grabs the daughter, drives off. They release the couple, or they let go of the couple, and they keep driving. And now the couple's just shell shocked. Shell shocked. They drive back to the quarry where they did the
They is
primal
beat
scream
dogs.
therapy.
They is beat
They're
dogs.
beat dogs. Say, get out of the car. They get out. Again, we see no weapons.
Right. No weapons.
of any kind.
Take off all your clothes. Okay.
They do it. Strip naked. Go
Walk down to the
quarry.
bottom of the pit.
They do it.
Okay.
They do it. And then I'm waiting for a gunshot. Because in America, there'd be a gunshot coming. No gunshot.
Guns be waving all around.
Absolutely.
Knives up your nose. A gun in your ass. It's something.
And then we get to watch them slowly get stoned to death as
Dude.
Patrick and his Dutch wife throw rocks at them over and over and over again.
They're so passive. There were equal matches. Well, at least the women were equal matches. Bjorn would have just curled up in a ball and cried anyway.
Well, and here's the other thing. There were two
They
big
could
piles
have
of rocks with them. There are two rock piles right next to them. So if we're going to have a rock fight, I could be throwing rocks right back at you.
They just
they
stand
don't.
there and allow themselves. They didn't even walk away like out of the distance.
I'd be doing, you could dodge or something. These are just somebody
Bring
throwing
in
a
some
rock
Super
at you.
Mario action. No, they just laid there until they were knocked unconscious. Just giant rock, and it was gruesome. Just
It went on.
every time every time the rock would hit, leave like a big chunk of meat out of them. Oh,
Boom.
it was gruesome.
Boom. Yeah.
But
So
they
it's
were
like-
just fine. They just had given up. You might as well just laid
was
there
it.
and just run over me a couple times. I'll just
That
lay
was
here
it.
by your tire.
It's crazy. It's one of those things where it's like, clearly, Patrick.
You got a daughter out loose, got her tongue cut off. You think you can't
What are you
fight for that?
doing?
Go fight
Do
her.
something. Well, that's the thing, though. It's clearly they're chosen. They were like, Patrick's like a predator who chose this dude specifically. He knew that this was
He's not
somebody.
going to fight for anything.
Right. And he says, why are you doing this? And Patrick says, because you let me.
Yeah. That was it.
That was it. That was it.
You
Boom,
doomed
and
your
that's
whole
credits
family. You
roll.
let me in. You let me in. Credits roll.
Credits
You're
roll.
like, oh.
Boom. It's not the feel-good movie of the summer. Let me
It
tell you
is
that.
not. You're not going to name a child Patrick or Bjorn.
Well, I mean, and I was talking about this they're doing an American remake, and I wonder if they changed the ending of the American remake.
Oh.
So now it's kind of like a John Wick Taken situation where the daughter,
There's going to be a lot more car chases, I'm guessing.
where James McAvoy, pulls a gun out somewhere and just, he's chasing. Now there's a whole in Taken. Liam Neeson's daughter gets kidnapped by white slavers and sold into sex slavery. And he's like, I'm just going to handle it. I'm going to handle it myself. He doesn't take off his clothes and lay down in the rock quarry.
Just run me over. Kill me.
That was it.
Yeah. Keep my daughter and take her to Tuscany. Yeah. No.
Well, That's what,
we
they're
need to
dead.
go see it if it ever gets released so we can complain how they ruined it. Because this is a pretty good movie.
This is an excellent film, but because it's entirely bloodless for up until the last 5 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Basically. Entirely bloodless. It's more of like it's like mood. It's like, ooh, something's not right here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what it is. And then the reveal, and you're like, whoa. And the ending is very upsetting. It really is. Because in these kind of things, you kind of like we're doing, you put yourself in the position of those characters.
What are you going to do?
What are you
I'm
going to do?
not going to just take off my clothes. No. How about that?
He gets punched 3 times.
And that was it.
He's like,
that was it.
This is your daughter. If you fight the husband, then there's no cutting. The wife she was in a headlock by the babysitter, so she can't.
And she was putting up more of a fight than he was.
Absolutely.
And what do you think hurts worse? Getting stoned to death or getting punched again by Patrick? How about try punching him back?
Absolutely.
Hit him with a rock. Oh, Bjorn.
Bjorn.
If I ever see that actor, I'm going to throw a rock at him.
Throw a rock at him. Let him know it's inappropriate. No, I spoke to you about this. There was a movie called The Vanishing, and I think it was like a Scandinavian film first.
Yeah.
But they remade it in the United States with Kiefer Sutherland and Jeff Bridges.
I think I saw that back in the Blockbuster days. I think I saw
90s.
it, or at least I heard of it.
Early 90s, and it's basically like Sandra Bullock gets kidnapped at the beginning of the movie. Okay? And Kiefer Sutherland's the boyfriend, and he flips out, basically. He doesn't know that she was kidnapped. He just knows that she went in for a pack of smokes and never came back.
Right.
Kind of thing. So he's been putting up flyers for 10 years. Oh, have you seen her? Blah, 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 blah. He's obsessed. Jeff Bridges, who was the kidnapper, shows up to him one day and just like, I'm the one who did it. I'm the one you're looking for. But if you want to know what happened, you're going to have to experience the same thing, essentially. I'm going to put you through
I don't need
the
to
same...
know what happened.
So what are you going to do?
I don't need to know. Tell me how you tortured my loved one. I want to know all the details. No.
And he says, you have to drink this coffee, which is drugged, and then you'll know what happened. And he gives him the cup of coffee, and Kiefer Sutherland, so obsessed, he drinks it. And then he wakes up buried alive. He's in a coffin, wakes up. Oh my God. In the original Scandinavian version, it might have been Norwegian, might have been Swedish. That's the end of the movie. He wakes up in the coffin, credits roll. Dead meat.
Perfect.
Hope it was worth it.
Perfect.
American version, his new girlfriend, Nancy Travis, arrives at the 11th hour, digs him out of the ground. I think that they punch.
See, that's how they're
just
going
a
to
little
ruin the remake of this. Because at the
That's what I
11th hour, like the helicopter will fly by.
There just happens to be a helicopter flying by. Exactly. I'm just saying. We'll see
Smokey
if they
the Bandit arrive in time.
It's called a Hollywood ending. That's what they do.
Well, it's how they ruin Promising Young Woman. How like all is exposed at the end. It should have just ended with her death. Dark, yes, but it's a dark story.
It's very dark. I like Promising Young Woman. I'm not going to
It's a
complain
great
about a
film.
Hollywood ending. It's just interesting to see the differences culturally.
They need to have the European cut, which is the real version, and then the up American version where everybody gets a daisy.
Maybe what they do is they do the normal downcast ending, credits roll, and then there's like a stinger at the end for anybody who wants it. You can, if you want the down ending, you can just leave the theater at that point. If you want the Hollywood ending, it'll be at the end of the credits. Hey,
there you go.
We're fine.
The ruined version.
the ruined
version.
version.
That's what's going to happen. Ewan McGregor, who I assume is going to be.
Why is he in this?
James McAvoy. Is he going to be Bjorn or Patrick?
I don't know. That's a good question. Who's to say?
Is he passive or is he insane?
He's probably the Danish guy, just by virtue of the fact he's a bigger star. So you think it would be like from his point of view initially. So there you go. Shall we talk about behind the scenes?
Lay it on me, brother.
Writer-director Christian Tafdrup got the idea for the movie from his own experience while on holiday in Tuscany, where his family met a friendly but somewhat socially awkward couple from the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm. So he killed them. Is that what happened?
The two families spent a lot of time together, and when they were home again, they got an invitation from the Dutch family to stay over in the Netherlands. They briefly considered the offer, but decided not to take it since they thought it would be odd to stay with people they didn't really know.
Stranger
So that
danger.
whole thing, that's the seed from where this story grew.
Yeah,
and he says,
I see it.
He says, this movie's no more than a dark fantasy and that the Dutch couple from his own holiday are undoubtedly fine people. So there you go.
as far as we know.
That's right.
Well, you don't think I didn't think about when I stayed in hostels last summer, you don't think I didn't think about the movie Hostel the whole time I was there.
Based on a true story.
Based on a true story of Aaron's adventures.
In
Sweden.
That's what will happen. The Dutch couple, Patrick and Karen, are married in real life. So there you go. Good times. There isn't. I mean, that's all.
Interesting. They did seem like I said, compatible.
Well, considering they were basically going for it on the dance floor, I hope they're feeling compatible. Shall we talk about the cast and crew? There's going to be a lot of European.
With umlauts and other interesting accents and too many vowels.
Let's see. Christian Tafdrup. I'm sure I'm butchering his name. He's known as the director.
Christian, go ahead and write to us if you're offended.
Please. He directed Speak No Evil. He was a director in Anne Forelkelsa. You know it, don't you? And he played James in A Horrible Woman in 2017.
Okay.
And in Parents, 2016, he played Eichendom Megler. I'm going to mess up these. I'm just telling you, I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just going to butcher these names. So just prepare yourself.
So they're going to throw a rock at you.
They might. And they'd be right to do so. Morten Burian played Bjorn. You know him from such things as Speak No Evil. He was in Deadline, Loving Adults, Sons of Denmark. You know him, don't you?
Like Sons of Anarchy, but Danish style.
Absolutely. Let's see. Sidsel Siem Koch played Louisa, who is the Danish wife. You know her from such things as Speak No Evil. She was in 4 episodes of Doggy Style. I don't want to know what that is. She was in 2 episodes of Frederick the Ninth, and she played Anita in Steppelven. You know it, don't you? Let's see. Fedja Van Hewitt played Patrick. You know him from such things as Character, Speak No Evil, Overspell, and Amnesia. 32 episodes of Overspell, by the way. So check that out. Popular
I'm
Dutch,
sure our parents
series.
were into like weird Scandinavian television procedurals, police procedurals. I'm sure Dad will be like, "Oh yeah, that's Oingen Boingen."
Oingen Boingen. That was offensive.
They're all the Swedish Chef to me, or Eric Northman.
Karina Smulders played Karen, the Dutch wife. You know her. She was in 10 episodes of Women of the Night. She was in Bride Flight. She was in 20 episodes of The Neighbors. and she played Ava in Wolfsbergen.
That
you
seems
go.
vaguely Nazi.
Who's to say? Could be. Shall we talk about the rating?
Lay it on me.
Speak No Evil 2022 currently has 85%.
I think that's
Rotten
about right.
Tomatoes.
I think that's fair.
Do you know what the audience gave it?
72.
56%.
Interesting.
Audience. Isn't that interesting?
Not enough. Well, you had a lot of hairy ass. Not so much. Oh no, you had full frontal nudity both ways.
You did.
Every
At
way.
the end, there was full frontal.
Interesting.
Honestly, I mean, again, if you're an American audience going, I want an American Hollywood ending, you're not going to get that.
It's dark
There you go.
ending, but
Yep.
but it was interesting. It kept us going.
Absolutely.
But it's psychological because you're like, these guys are weird. Something's weird. What's wrong with this person? What's wrong
Absolutely.
with that person?
Nick Shager of the Daily Beast says, a thriller that depicts the path to hell as paved with minor transgressions.
Ooh.
That's a good one. A.A. Dowd from Digital Trends says, this is more than a good horror movie. It's a wickedly inspired and brutally effective one.
Yeah.
There you go. Now, on the other side, Megan Navarro from Bloody Disgusting says, Taft crafts a grueling voyage determined to frustrate and antagonize right up until it finally reveals its cynical, empty underbelly. 2 out of 5.
But listen to the name. I think they're only reviewing Eli
Roth.
Eli Roth films.
It's the Hostel Weekly.
There's no blood, no severed limbs. Thumbs down.
What is your rating, Aaron?
I'm going to give it 4 warnings about anyone named Bjorn out of 5. Nothing in your ass.
I definitely gave it 4 out of 5 Stompots, which is a popular
for
Dutch
everyone.
dish.
A round of Strompots for everyone.
For everybody. I thought it was very effective. I thought the acting was dynamite. I thought it built that tension. Now you could argue, and I felt like you go in knowing something bad's going to happen. So when the reveal occurs, I felt it wasn't as shocking as maybe it was supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Well, if you start off with the titles "Speak No Evil," you know something's up. Versus "On a Sunny Day."
On a Sunny Day, that would have fooled me. Absolutely.
Like Midsummer. Midsummer. Doesn't that sound nice? Until they start throwing the old people off the cliff.
I mean, Vacation. Maybe call it Vacation.
Vacation's all ever.
and then have like kind of, nice sounding, calming music throughout until the reveal. Because when the
soundtrack
is dialed
off
up to
the
11,
chain. Oh yeah.
It's dialed up to 11 the entire time. So of course you're like, okay, I know something bad's happening. I know this dude's bad. I know something's going on. I know that kid does not have a congenital tongue thing. I know something's going down. So from that point, you could argue it was going to be a little bit easy to predict. Let's just say.
The soundtrack is fantastic, was oppressive. It just knocked you down and hung over you the whole time. You were just waiting. You were waiting for all the bad things that you knew were coming.
Absolutely. So I mean, that's the thing. Maybe it's just if you walk in knowing nothing about this movie, not even the genre, then maybe you'd be kind of surprised. Maybe, I don't know. Again, that being said, I still thought it was very effective. And I liked the premise. But again, you could argue, and maybe that's what I'm doing, that it could be a little predictable where it ends up.
Well, you knew. I don't think you would have totally predicted that end, but you would predict that something bad gonna happen.
Something bad. Well, yeah, for sure. So, thank you very much. Go to our pages on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We do stuff on YouTube every week, for goodness sake.
Every week.
every week. So do you want to watch us or do you want to listen? You decide. We're like that Dutch couple. I don't know what
You
that
can't
means.
make. We'll just lay here until you throw rocks at us. How about that?
That's the
Let us
Danish
know.
couple. Good Lord. Anyway, that being said, good Lord. You can email us at the podcast that wouldn't die at Gmail.
Gmail.
We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere the finer podcasts are available. So rate, review, share, do all that good stuff.
Do it.
Do it for goodness sake. And of course, check out our WTF reels across all of social
On the
media.
Ticker Talker and
Yes.
everywhere else.
It's good stuff. Twice a week. Aaron, what's your social media stuff? What's going on?
I have much media. I am on the Insta. I am the Cult of Aaron. Join the cult. I am also Don't Feed the Pigeons. I'll be doing a reprinting of my world famous pigeon zine soon. Along with a new zine about where I just drag my mannequin across the desert and take pictures of it. And then put my rambling thoughts down.
Okay.
I am also, you can buy my beautiful photography on Artsy and First Dibs, Aaron Doherty, Instant Dreams Gallery. Boom.
Dynamite! Next week, we are doing the Donald Sutherland, Julie Christie classic, Don't Look Now. It's kind of a vacation journal where you can see the lovely Venice. So we went from a little view of Tuscany in this one and a lot of the woods of Holland. Now we're seeing a lot of Venice. So
There
good
we
time.
go.
You can watch it for free on Canopy if you have a library card, or
No.
you can watch it.
Not all libraries use Canopy.
No, I don't. What do I use? I don't use Canopy. I use something else.
Hoopla.
Hoopla.
My library uses Hoopla.
Not on Hoopla. But you can watch it with ads on Pluto TV. So good, just the way,
Fucking Pluto TV. Just the way
just the
God
way it was
intended
intended.
Where it's just
Absolutely.
the same ad over and over and over until you're certain you'll never buy this product because it's been rammed down your throat for 90 minutes.
For forever. So
For forever.
send in your favorite scenes, favorite quotes, comments, and questions, and we may talk about it on the show. Good times
All right.
had by all. So thank you very much, and be well.
Bye, kids. Stay off the TikTok.